This video was sponsored by Enhance, NeoWatt, A Better Road Planner, Elbilmek, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We're home in the garage getting ready for a degradation test of this Kia Soul. It's the 27 kilowatt hour, the first generation, but at 148,000 kilometers, they replaced the battery on warranty. Oh, and this is actually my car. So yeah, I want to test now. It has around 78,000 kilometers on the new battery. I want to measure the degradation because when I tested it before I bought it, it seems like I have 26 kilowatt hour, possibly more. But when I tested that other Soul from Valdemark, Elbilmek, I measured only 24 kilowatt hour. It was also a replaced battery, and it couldn't have done that many kilometers, that battery. So I want to know how much can we get out of this. I tried to heat up the garage, but it was sitting here not too many hours, so the battery's still kind of cold, but hopefully that is okay. So the car is in okay condition. It has done over 220,000 kilometers. But the one thing that is broken here is the backup camera. And then the other day when I was around here clearing snow, I noticed that it's kind of loose here. Okay, but Valdemar has the camera ready. Just have to get over to Elbilmek and fix it. But that's fine, we can still drive the car. You see here, charge the car to 100%. 100% state of display claims displays at 95% true state of charge. Pack voltage here. See cell voltage, it doesn't charge to 4.2, 4.1. I think maybe not the healthiest way to go. Normally I actually charge to only around 60-70%. This car has a good range, yeah. Okay, battery is at 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, so maybe I should try one other time when it's warmer to see if we get more energy out of the battery. Okay, anyway, let's get ready and then off we go. Oh yeah, before we start, the car claims 133 kilometers, but yeah, the consumption is high because I've been idling stationary preheating, but okay. 221,000 kilometers, so minus 148, that's actually only 73k on this battery. Ooh, it should be in good condition then. Yeah, before I start, I have to show you that I'm gonna measure the battery, and that means I need to go deep. So listen to Uncle Bjorn, whenever you're planning to go deep, always bring protection. Okay, whatever that means. But yeah, I have the two EcoFlows here with the safety equipment and also the EV-Nicholas charger mode to CCS adapter. So, well, this should be good. This car actually has a rust. Wow. Maybe I should get this fixed before it becomes too bad. Yeah, also some over here. Wait, did I close it properly? There. Okay. Yeah, let's deal with that later. Oh, lovely weather today. I'm cruising at 95 on the speedo to match 90 GPS speed. Don't want too high power output, unlike the last test I did. When I hammered it, I had to kinda do it quick. But yeah, so we will just drive north now and then eventually turn around and go back. So yeah, just on the motor here is fine. It's very comfy and safe also. Wow, very impressive. It's minus 1 degree Celsius outside. And you see the heat pump here is sucking only 340 watts. That's it. It's super efficient now. Wow. Oh, this is so much better than the e-Golf. Uh-oh, I have to be careful now. I can see on the windscreen the signs. We have frozen rain. Yeah, so that means that the roads might be quite slippery, but then, well actually with minus 1 degree Celsius, they salt the heck out of the roads then. The frozen rain should melt. If it was minus 10 degrees Celsius, that would be scary. And I don't have peak deck on this car. So yeah, when it comes to HVAC, it jumps a bit up and down now between 700 watts and 1 kilowatt. We are now at Mjøsen, and yeah, still this weather here, this rain. So actually right now, I wish I had the heated windscreen in the e-Golf. Oh. But it's okay, it's not too crazy frozen rain. And then actually there'll be tunnels ahead, and the tunnels are usually warmer, so we can melt some of this. So far I've done 36 kilometers and I'm down to 78%. The battery is slowly heating up. That could probably be good because we can then get more energy out of the battery. We are now at Tangen, yeah, gas station right over there. Gonna turn around here Also check distance error. We are at 63 kilometers now. Wait, can you see anything? Okay, we're at 60% at least. So because the charge scale is non-linear, then we can't go to 50% before we turn around. So 60%, that's roughly 55% state of charge, linear. But yeah, 63 kilometers now, so it seems like the distance is counted correctly. We are down to 20%. We are passing by Dahl now, getting close to home. And I mean, look, even at 20% state of charge, we still have full power left. 15 to 16 degrees Celsius in the battery. That's low delta. This is, well, how old is this car? It's around 10-year-old technology. And then some cars that test new cars nowadays, they don't behave like this. And now we're down to 12% and we see power limit 87 kilowatt, and it will keep dropping and dropping. So yeah, we just have to be careful because like I said, it's the state of charge scale is non-linear. It drops slightly faster towards the end, but nowhere near as fast as the Mazda 6e. I'm now on the B roads near Kløfta and at 7%, so the remaining range disappears. Yeah, okay, you can see it here, how many percent you have left, so you can count on that, I hope. So I will try to drive a little bit further before I turn around and head back home. So I have to pay attention to the power limit and the percent and stuff over here. Turtle mode is here. I feel like we have less power. You can see a car scanner. We have 4.5% left. 50 kilowatt power limit. Yeah, that's still okay. 4% now. We are almost home now. We have 1% left. And then I noticed that it got cold in here. So it seems like HVAC is off once we have turtle mode maybe. Okay, so I'm not sure how deep we want to go until 0%, or maybe this is deep enough. Whoa. I felt something. Even though we have 26 kilowatt power limit, when I floor it, I only get 3.5 kilowatt. Okay. Yeah, so 1% remaining, don't count on it. I will probably count it as 0% because now we are barely just crawling forward here. Now it's time to bail out. Okay. But we are here in the safety of the house. Okay. Let's get in the garage first. But look at this. Wow, 135 kilometers done. Impressive. And then consumption was 193 1 hour per kilometer. But man, having charge port in the front here is a bad idea. Look, we had some frozen rain, there's some schmutz here. You don't want to have the charge port in the front. Anyone who lives in Norway has some respect for themselves. They won't put the charge port in the front. It will always cause problems, man. Fortunately, I'm inside the garage. I need to put some of the heaters. I have one over there. Yeah, we need to heat the charge port again. It's not the first time this happens. Okay, there, yes, e-Golf is better because the e-Golf has it in the rear right, even though the right side is the wrong side. Should have been left side, is the right side. Was very efficient. Hallelujah, we are charging now. I don't know if it's a good idea to put some silicone here, or maybe it doesn't matter because it's just ice baby, or I don't know, something frozen. We're getting 4.5 kilowatt into the battery. Yeah, this car has 30 amp onboard charger, 6.6 kilowatt. And that's faster than the first gen e-Golf. It has only 16 amp or 3.7 kilowatt onboard charger. Hey, what the heck? I can see how much power the climate is using and electronics here. Okay, we're at 6% now. But, I could have sworn that in other Korean cars, maybe more modern cars, like Ioniq 5 or EV6, as long as you are parked and plugged in, you cannot see this power. It is always 0. Wait, did they update this? Okay, this is very nice. So in case you guys haven't seen before, I have 3 of those easy charging station. This is, I don't know, it's kind of old now. I think it's called Easy Home something. And yeah, each of these are 11 kilowatt. Also one outside. But they are 3-phase, 16 amp. So if you're charging something which is 1-phase, then you only get 1 phase, obviously. But then I have this Wally. Great stuff, great invention from Finland. Yeah, just like the donut battery. Oh yeah, and Kempower. Let's not forget them. This takes 3-phase into there and then makes 1-phase up to 16 amp, and then it makes 25 amp 1-phase. Plus that there's another Shuko output on the other side there. So yeah, awesome. And then, well, unfortunately, this device required a red plug, which is here. And then I requested from Metron Institute, with awesome guys from Slovenia, to make this Type 2 to red plug adapter. So it has some buttons beneath here to initiate the handshake. I think I'm not going to touch it now since I'm charging. So this is great. So yeah, at least I'm charging it at 25 out of 30 possible amps. So it's very nice because let me see. The car is kind of low, and this is the family car. Yeah, in about 1 hour, I have to go pick up the kids at the kindergarten. So it would be great if I had some juice in here. And let me show you. So for now, I use it as family car. Yeah, you see in the back there we have the Cybex Anuris T2, and then the Sirona over there. Yeah, now it looks kind of tight because whenever I'm driving alone, I will put the bags, it beeps because the car is on. I put the camera bags here. Normally we have it slightly further forward. But yeah, in case you guys are wondering, since we are at this topic, yeah, what happened to Neo? Aren't you Neo, Bjorn? Well, yeah, I mean, but I think I could borrow a Neo, I'm not sure, but it seems like people were a bit fed up with the Neo stuff. So same car, you know, same car all over again. So I'm waiting actually for a Firefly. I want to try a Firefly, but I don't have one ready. Maybe I can try the EL6 because they are selling lots of EL6 and it's quite an awesome car. Or maybe I should try to borrow another brand. I've been thinking about Volkswagen. I like the ID7 a lot. I can ask Volkswagen if they can lend me a car for a long time. Because eventually the e-Golf will be sold to Marcus. This will be put into press car shuttle service, and then it won't be much home. And then eventually I need a family car, but I'm planning on buying the Model 3, right? So we'll see. But until then, there is an opening for some inset brand here for me to test some family car, day-to-day driving, maybe to the shopping mall and to the kindergarten, preheating, how does that work, all that. But okay, anyway, let's stop digging around. I need to crunch some numbers about this battery. Whoa, according to the test today, we have 26 kilowatt hour net capacity. That is wonderful. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many kilowatt hour this car had when it was new. Because it's a replaced battery. It's not technically the 30 kilowatt hour Sol battery, the way I understand. It's just some kind of new. It's supposedly brand new, not remanufactured, not like what Tesla is doing when they have replacement. So I'm guessing 27 kilowatt hour. I Google and I found out many people report 27 kilowatt hour. Okay, so maybe it was 27 kilowatt hour when it was new, and then after 73,000 kilometers, it had lost only 1 kilowatt hour. However, as you guys have seen with the classic Ioniq, this battery might be related to the classic Ioniq battery, is that there might be some top buffer that will eventually be eaten up. But in my case, you know what I'm going to use this car for. I'm going to hammer it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I will do some hammer tests, but other than that, the car will be parked at dealerships for 1 week at a time, and then I will be driving it under normal circumstances without any test, only around 500 kilometers per year. So it will not degrade much at all. And then when it comes to degradation, by the way, some people claim that time degrades. Okay, I'm not sure about that, but from what I've seen in many and many of my degradation tests, it's the number of cycles that actually degrades the battery. And then what about fast charging versus AC charging versus charging to 100%? That part I don't know for sure, but I think at least a pretty strong indication is that the number of cycles is what degrades the battery. I was about to say almost regardless of how you charge it, but okay, there are the indication that if you charge it to 100%, if a car can charge to 4.2 volts like a Tesla or a Leaf, then that's not healthy over time. And also maybe if you fast charge a lot and you cause lots of heat to the battery, that's also not good. And also if you hammer it and use full power, high discharge rate, that's not healthy. But the main factor is number of cycles, driving and discharging it or whatever you do. So actually, maybe I should make a video about how I want to try to take good care of the battery. I will avoid charging to 100%. The problem is that nowadays when I use the car for school runs, I want to preheat. So I set the preheating schedule in the car, but then it needs to be plugged in. And it also needs to have power in the plug. So I can't just trick it and plug it in and then not start it in the Easy app. So it needs to have power. So what I could do to avoid too much degradation, but now we're nitpicking, is that instead of using battery power to heat up the cabin, I will then plug in, and then when it's preheating, it will try to pull power from the plug, therefore cause less cycles to the battery. But I mean, for normal use, don't worry about this. Just use the car as normal and you'll be fine. And eventually it's going to degrade, just like I degrade, my wife degrades, everything degrades, yes. Well, overall though, 3.7% so far. We're going to do a follow-up video, but in a couple of years maybe, but then we'll see how many kilometers I add on it. So that's going to be for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.